Today on the Broadway Shuffle, a Texas Tech sports podcast, Brendan Sorsby gets sued by his former school. What this could mean for Texas Tech football, plus the Red Raider basketball team set for another top 15 matchup clash against Iowa State in Ames. But first, as always, I am Brennan Baxter, pleased to be joined by my wonderful co-hosts, Clayton Anderson, Zyler Buchanan, and the one and only Conrad Mills. We want to thank our sponsors for this episode, Wonder Tree based in Lubbock and Lubbock Abstract and Title Company. If this is your first time tuning into the Broadway Shuffle, we're so glad you were here. We are with you every Monday and Thursday. If you would, make sure to like this video, subscribe on YouTube. It's 100% free. It doesn't cost you anything. It helps us grow our show. We really appreciate it. And follow on Spotify and Apple if that's your cup of tea and that's where you listen to your podcast. Z, before we get to anything here, man, you had a newborn baby just, 2 nights ago, 48 hours ago. Jackson Buchanan has entered this world. Congratulations, man. How you holding up?
Yeah, it was good. My wife shot down Patrick David Bailey Buchanan. So we had to go with option number 2, which was Jackson Cade. Yeah, we're feeling good. My wife's a stud. We're not even 36 hours from giving birth, and she was down on the ground playing with our 3-year-old and our 1.5-year-old, doing all sorts of stuff. So she's she's good at what she does. She's a real tough cookie. So yeah, we're super blessed, and it's been a lot of fun. But I told the hospital staff, I said, hey, listen, I got a podcast. I got to record it Wednesday night. Any chance you can kind of speed this thing up? And they said, no problem, sir. We love the Broadway Shuffle. We'll get you home in time. So glad to be here.
And here you are, man. Well, we're glad to have you back. Congratulations. And my chair just followed right as I was talking. I just shrunk 3 inches in real time on YouTube. But we're happy to have you, man. But let's get right to the big news. Cincinnati is suing Brendan Sorsby over $1 million in liquid damages, Z, due to him breaching what appeared to be an 18-month NIL contract. He, according to ESPN...
Revenue share agreement, not NIL deal. That is a key distinction. Okay. And we'll get into that in a little bit.
So a revenue share agreement, he breaches that, obviously transfers to Texas Tech pretty much immediately when the portal opens. Your thoughts on what Cincinnati is doing, Zyler, and is this justified? Is it fair that Cincy is suing Brendan Sorsby?
Yeah, so, okay, actually, my correction was partly correct. So it was an NIL deal and a revenue share agreement. So it was not either or. It was both. So it's interesting. Obviously, I haven't seen the contract, and I'm also not an attorney. So take everything I'm about to say with a total grain of salt. But it's fascinating. They're saying that he owes them money because he, in the contract states, that Sorsby promised to pay the university $1 million in liquidated damage if he transferred to another university before completion of the agreement's full term, and that agreement ran through December 15th, 2026. And that's from Justin Williams at The Athletic, who's quoting that stuff. That buyout payment was due to Cincinnati within 30 days of Sorsby's transfer, according to the lawsuit. Did not apply if he left for the NFL. The lawsuit also states that before initiating litigation, Cincinnati reached out to Sorsby, and they were advised that Sorsby refuses to pay the university anything, according to the complaint. So that's kind of where things stand. Those of you who listen to the show that are more intimate with the legal profession, I'd love to hear kind of where you fall on this. But that's kind of the backdrop and the setting. Whether they can actually enforce liquidated damages, I think, is going to be really interesting. But Brendan, I know you have some thoughts on this.
I do, but Clay, I wanted to go to you first, and we'll save Conrad for last. This just happened with Duke and Mensah transferring from Duke to Miami, and they reached a settlement, an undisclosed settlement is what the quote was from ESPN. So your thoughts on this, just as a Texas Tech fan, do you feel like this is fair? I mean, we're seeing more of this. It happened with a Missouri edge as well, who left Georgia to go to Mizzou. Where's your thought on this? Obviously, we're Texas Tech guys, so it's our quarterback's getting sued. We must defend at all costs, but at the same time, this isn't just a Brendan Sorsby issue.
Yeah, no, I think it's completely justified. And if it was the other way around, I would want Tech to do it too. I'm confused where Sorsby thought that he wasn't going to have to pay, because I remember when he first transferred, it was announced that there was a $1 million buyout. And then I guess reading that article, he was refusing to pay it. So I don't know exactly what was going on there. Maybe I'm sure he was getting advice from someone, but I think Cincinnati's completely justified. Same with Duke in the Mensah situation. The Missouri one, I feel like, to me, is different because that was before if I remember correctly, that was before revenue sharing. So that was a full NIL, which I feel like gets into a gray area of like the NIL is supposedly not pay for play, but if you're suing to recoup damages off of a straight NIL deal, that feels a little grayish to me. But anything involving the rev sharing, like schools have to be able to do something to protect themselves. So I'm completely in support of Cincinnati.
Yeah, Clayton, one other thing from the Athletic, and if you haven't read it, Justin Williams did a great job. It's also listed that per the College Sports Commission, which we have not signed up in agreement with that, so that is something to note. Sorsby's $1 million buyout must be accounted for by Texas Tech within the school's $20.5 million revenue sharing cap for 2025-2026, but is not required to pay Cincinnati directly to cover the buyout costs. So, and then the other one that's interesting is that Damon Williams situation at Washington, where almost this exact same situation came up, where it was going to be like a $4 million buyout. And he said, you know what? Never mind. I'm not actually going to transfer. So lots of weird stuff happening around this. And I think Texas Tech is once again going to be on the forefront of college athletics, just maybe not in the way that Sorsby was hoping for.
Yeah. Conrad, your thoughts?
Yeah, it's one of those things that obviously is unprecedented in college sports, seeing what we're seeing now with all these different situations. I mean, it stinks that he's getting sued by his former school, but it's just kind of part of it, right? I mean, that's just, if that is what the contract said and you broke it, there are gonna be penalties associated with that, regardless of what that looks like. And so, again, like Clayton said, I feel fine with what Cincinnati's doing. It just kind of stinks that it's our quarterback, that it's the 2026 Heisman Trophy winner, but at the same time, it's one of those things that you just got to put up with. And money and resources are not really an issue at Texas Tech, and so my hope would be that this can all get squared away and go away, because you never want your quarterback in legal trouble at all.
Well, and this is where, for me, I completely agree with you, Clayton. Like, if this was the other way around and Indiana was stealing Sorsby from Tech and Sorsby didn't pay us or whatever it is, like, sue them. Like, the schools need to be protected. The coaches need to be protected. That's the one issue throughout this whole NIL and rev share argument, where it seems like the schools are just getting screwed. Like, and coaches have no idea who's going to be on their roster semester over semester now. And so if you have to sue to earn the rights of like what you gave up for a guy and he promised you something, well, I think it's in Cincinnati's best interest to sue Texas Tech. I saw a lot of people on Twitter like going after Cincinnati and making fun of this whole thing. And I was like, this is good, I think, ultimately long-term for college football, because it's going to hold NIL agents, who are mostly a joke, and college kids, 18 to 22-year-old kids, accountable. They need to be held accountable to some extent. You're getting a $4 million, $5 million contract to come to Tech. Great. But you promised you were given $1 million to go play there, and you chose to leave. If you've got to pay it, you've got to pay it. I don't feel bad for Brendan Sorsby in this situation. I don't feel bad for Tech. This is just a fact of the system at play, and you got to play by whatever rules there are. There's not a ton, but you got to play by the rules that are in place. And I think schools somehow have to protect themselves. I would hope Texas Tech would do the same.
Clayton, do you get a little bit of the sense that this is a kind of like Kansas State firing Jerome Tang for cause, where it's like, listen, we're going to try to fire you for zero, wink, wink. Like, we know we're not actually going to get this, but let's try to get something. And so is Sorsby saying, I'm not paying you anything, just an effort to say, oh, shucks, I'll give you guys $400,000. Let's make this go away. Or do you actually think this is going to like come to a legal standoff?
Yeah, you're probably right about that. It's probably a way to get the settlement down, because he for sure, I mean, he obviously had someone representing on his behalf. He's not just telling Cincinnati himself, like, yeah, I'm not paying you. He's like talking to Scott Satterfield himself. So it's obviously someone else. I'm sure you're probably right, like trying to get, maybe get out of the full $1 million and get that amount lowered.
Sure. I mean, the big winner in all of this is always the attorneys. They're always the big winners. Billable hours remain undefeated with the NCAA. But it is a fascinating situation to kind of monitor.
Well, and Conrad, the Mensah thing with Duke, like when they're coming out saying an undisclosed amount was settled. So maybe it wasn't the full damages they sued him for, and they kind of settled on half or whatever. So to Zyler's point, I do think that you could see a situation here where Cincy and Brendan settle, and he might be, paying a third of it or a half of it or whatever it would be. But regardless, it's just a sticky situation for college sports. Like, I just hate that we're in this position where schools are having to sue former players and players are suing schools, and they're filing judgments and courts in Alabama so 28-year-olds can play college basketball. Like, it's just kind of crazy all across the board right now.
Yeah, and that's what I mean, that's part of what has benefited Texas Tech in a unique way, right? Like, we cannot lose sight of how this has massively benefited Texas Tech basketball and football. But looking at the sport as a whole, it gets old. It seems like there's something else. And I would wish that there would just be some kind of equitable playing field across the board, but that's not going to happen. And like what Zyler said earlier about the College Sports Commission, correct me if I'm wrong, guys, but that's where everybody signs that they won't spend more than what they're allotted in terms of revenue sharing. Correct? That's part of what the conversation is there. Like where the SEC schools and Big Ten schools,
enforcement of the rules that it would give the CSC, and again, this is hazy memory, but it would give them like legal authority to bind everybody to an agreement, and so they could actually police and monitor stuff. And
so that would mean that like Big 12 schools would only get to spend a certain amount, and that the SEC schools and Big 10 schools would get to spend more, right?
I don't think so. I think
within that
house
is that something else?
House revenue is the 20.5 that schools can directly facilitate to student athletes. The CSC is more related to like enforcement of like penalties and making sure that everybody plays by the rules. House revenue just allowed universities to pay athletes directly instead of through a like a third party clearinghouse like the Medical Club. That is my understanding. I could be totally wrong. If I'm incorrect, somebody please correct me. I'm far from an expert here. That's how I understood it.
Yeah, this just shows you guys that like even us four guys who are generally in tune with college sports, there's so much going on right now that it's really just hard to keep up with all of it. But if we made ourselves look like fools on the internet, it wouldn't be the first time. I will just say I don't know that. I would just like there to be some kind of unified plan for going forward for college sports, because that's only going to make it better. But at the same time, when they try and screw smaller schools, that's also going to be a big problem for schools that don't get the TV money the SEC and the Big Ten do. I think that's going to make it really hard for these schools that don't get that to want to sign up for any type of across the board rules.
Yeah, I totally agree. Would you be comfortable being the commissioner of college sports, Conrad?
I don't have time, but it depends on how much it paid.
Yeah, I feel like it'd be a worthy job to have right now. We there's always time when money's involved.
There's a number.
That's for sure. As we're there, there's definitely a number. Well, it's going to be interesting to keep an eye on. And again, Z, I thought you said it beautifully. Like Texas Tech back at the forefront of college football, back at the top of NIL and revenue share, and they've seemed to dominate it now. And now we're kind of reaping the other side of it, where you can get sued for it because whether you've poached or just paid a guy that chose to leave early, and it's just crazy. We'll see. But I did want to stay on the college football train right now. The draft combine started this week in Indianapolis. We've seen some Red Raiders at the podium: Rodriguez, Hunter, David Bailey, SGH had a great interview and a great conversation as well with the media there too. If I had to give you one guy whose stock will rise more than anyone else this week in Indianapolis, who would you guys say that player is? And I guess you could say David Bailey, like if he goes from 5 to 2, but
yeah,
like if you're, could you see a Jacob move from a day 2 or a second round pick to a day 1? Like which guy to keep an eye out this week in Indianapolis?
I would say, I mean, this is so hard for us because we're so biased and we saw all these guys play great this year. You don't find a guy like Jacob Rodriguez. You don't sit down with him and not be just impressed through the roof, right? Like this is a incredible human being, even on top of the football aspect, and those numbers speak for themselves. What he did on the field, people miss so much in the NFL draft. I mean, the numbers that people whiff and guys are off their team in 2-3 years is really astounding. And so I think it's very likely that there could be a team that sits down with J-Rod and just falls in love with the guy. And it's just like, man, you know what? His measurables maybe aren't what we'd want them to be, but the type of hard worker he is, the character he has, we're going to take him in, the second round or the third, back into the second, first, or, first part of the third. I don't know. I mean, I could just see it happening. That would not be crazy to me. And I've, we've never been wrong betting against Jacob Rodriguez, and so I'll put all my chips on him.
I like the J-Rod answer.
Yeah, I like kind of a sleeper one. I think Reggie Virgil could actually make some waves at the combine as far as like moving up quite a bit. And I think the other guys you'd maybe be monitoring would be, I mean, it's not like there's a huge list, but I think if Lee Hunter can find his way into the first round, that would be a huge win. He's got an advantage in that he's at a premium position. It's not like he's a linebacker like Jacob Rodriguez. Like that's hard to get drafted in the first round as an off ball inside linebacker. Just not going to be not a premium position. But that would be if the combine went really well for Tech, you would see Romello Height move into day 2. You'd see Jacob as a second round pick. You'd see Lee and Bailey both as first round picks, and you'd see Reggie go as a third rounder, and then maybe Cole as a fifth.
Clayton, I hate to ask you this question, but any chance Baron Morton makes it into the top 7 rounds?
I mean, if anyone could help his stock, it'd probably be him, because I feel like he has like the arm talent. It's really like whenever he's actually having to read like complex defenses that he struggles. But if you're just performing at a combine, like I'm sure he'll look good. I wouldn't expect him to get drafted. But Reggie Virgil is going to be my answer as well. I think he's probably better than his like stats and his tape from this year indicate. I think he has a better chance of actually sticking with a NFL team than people think. And another side note, I can't believe Cole Wisniewski got snubbed from the combine. That's kind of crazy to me. I feel like he easily should have gotten an invite. But yeah, that was kind of a convoluted answer. But I do think Barron could help him in the combine drills.
Let me ask you guys this.
Yeah, I was waiting.
If the Oregon game didn't happen the way it did, does Barron get drafted?
No.
I think that cake was already baked.
Yeah.
Really?
Yeah.
I
like
mean,
a 7th round
he
pick?
Called out.
Like if Barron, like if you're saying it didn't happen, what if Barron threw 4 touchdowns and 400 yards in the Oregon game? Like, okay, maybe that will change some things. He goes on.
What if he threw 220 yards, 2 picks, or 2 touchdowns, 1 pick against Oregon, and we lost by 7?
I think that's a single data point in a very large sample size that I don't think really would have moved the needle for him.
Agreed.
Y'all go ahead and keep talking. I'm going to go back to the draft class of quarterbacks last year.
The thing that I do kind of think is crazy is that Brendan Sorsby didn't come out in this class. Like, Ty Simpson might sneak into the first round. Otherwise, it's going to be a single quarterback drafted. Like, I think he could have done enough to be a first-round pick this year. Like, he's got the measurables. He's got the production. He's started a lot of games. Like, he's got pretty much everything you're wanting for. And it's not a loaded draft class. Like this class this year is expected to be really good. Like you're going to have Dante Moore. You're going to have Arch Manning. You're going to have some guys. And some dudes will pop up out of nowhere. That's just an interesting bet. And I'm glad he's at Tech. But that did surprise me that he chose to forego the NFL.
That's what $5 million will do for you.
I guess you're right.
Yeah, like we said, man, money talks. Money
Bird
talks.
in the hand.
Yeah, he's got it right now, so he might as well enjoy it. Good point, though. The last mock draft that I read Wednesday morning it had Lee Hunter going 21st, I think, to Cleveland. Like it was a trade up, but it did have Lee getting drafted in the first round, and I believe it had Ty Simpson going to the Steelers. Like there was a trade involved that had Ty going to the Steelers and Lee Hunter.
Quarterback.
Yeah, classic Steelers move, right? Yeah. So, but great for Lee if he's able to sneak in there. I think he's a very deserving of a late first round pick. I mean, I think the dude's a stud. He's great for the locker room. I feel like he's going to have a great NFL career, and we'll see how early David Bailey goes. I've seen him as high as second to the Jets. So who knows?
This is not even Texas Tech related, and I know we'll get to basketball in a sec. But did y'all see that Ohio State linebacker talk about the Jets today?
Yeah.
Was it Arvell Reese?
Yeah. We're just like, yeah, I just don't play good in New York. It probably wouldn't be a good idea for me to go to that team.
I think it's fair to try to push your way out of the Jets right now.
Has he even played in New York? I'm like, when would Ohio State?
Maybe they played at Rutgers. That's New Jersey.
Maybe. Yeah.
That's New Jersey. It's not even. It's just like it's such a funny thing to say. Like, yeah, this particular city just doesn't suit my playing style. What are you talking about?
Especially as a linebacker. It's not like you're a quarterback playing in the cold weather. Like you play defense. You go tackle people. So anyways, well, let's get to basketball. Z, you mentioned it. Texas. No. Conrad. Sorry. Sorry, go ahead.
I went and looked at the quarterback draft class last year, and I'm going to tell you who I would take Baron Morton over in that draft class.
Go ahead.
Anybody want to take a guess? Anybody?
I'm gonna guess. Was Quinn? Was that last year? I feel like that's
yeah.
what you're
Quinn
gonna
went
say.
to the Dolphins last year.
Yeah, you're gonna say that.
Is that your answer? Okay, Zyler, is that your answer?
I'm trying to think of the QBs that got drafted. I really can't remember any of them. Like,
Yeah,
who
because
were
they were all terrible.
Jackson Dart. You would take Jackson Dart over Barron.
100%.
Easily.
1,000,000,000%. Yeah.
Would you take? I'm trying to remember who got drafted last year.
Yeah, I can't even remember.
It was a bad
I
class.
can't believe this. I can't believe this.
Oh,
The floor is
Shedeur.
now
It's
mine.
Shedeur.
brothers. It's Shedeur.
Dylan Gabriel, Shedeur
1000%.
Sanders. Yeah.
Pro Bowler, Shedeur Sanders. Give me Baron Morton all day over him. Locker room guy, benefit to your team. I don't care if he's your third stringer, practice squad. Only benefits a franchise when compared to Shedeur Sanders. So all aboard the Baron Morton hype train for the NFL. Get on.
Dude,
Okay,
listen to these QBs that were drafted last year. It was Cam Ward, Shedeur Sanders, Jackson Dart, then Quinn Ewers, Jalen Milroe, Tyler Shuck.
Yeah, it's a weird class. Okay, a thought just popped in my head, and let's say Baron Morton's ceiling in the NFL, and this guy popped in because I love this guy and I think he's great. But Gardner Minshew, like, is Baron Morton is his ceiling higher than Gardner Minshew?
No, because Gardner can move.
Okay,
Better
see,
than
like
Barron.
that's tough. That's tough. Like,
I see no
you know.
reason that Barron couldn't be like a career backup though, like a guy that just bounces
Like
around
a
little
Stidham?
bit.
Off.
Yeah, like Stidham. I feel
Chase
like
Daniel.
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay, so Barron has a potential NFL career. It just might not be what
No,
we
I
would
don't
hope
think it
would
will
be.
start. He's going to have to work his way up. So
I think that's fair. I think that's totally fair. Okay.
I'd put Barron's. Correct me if I'm wrong, but I would put Barron's arm above Quinn. Like just arm talent. I'd say he has a better arm than Quinn.
I don't think so.
Post surgery.
Maybe. I don't know.
Well,
Barron's just never been the same. He's so put together now.
Who's the Texas fan now, Zyler?
I'm just saying. Quinn had great arm talent.
He's so put together now.
I don't know. He's just like reconstructed.
Yeah.
Enough of this.
It's like a
Ewers talk, though.
robot
I want
put
to talk
together.
about Christian Anderson.
Okay.
Give me
Let's
off the
get.
Dolphins
Well,
quarterback.
we have plenty of time to go through the draft and our football coverage. Texas Tech, the spring game is not far away, so we will be back into football here soon enough, and we'll obviously keep an eye on the combine and the draft and everything. But Texas Tech basketball is set for a huge weekend clash against Iowa State this Saturday afternoon in Ames, coming off a 2-0 homestand. Clayton, we were at the game against Kansas State. You had the Tuesday night game where Christian Anderson goes off. Your confidence in Texas Tech's chances of knocking off Iowa State. And I thought about this, like the current rankings. If you're able to pull this off, you will have beaten the current number 1, 2, 4, and 5 in the country. Your thoughts on Texas Tech chance to pull off the upset?
I am not extremely confident, but if there was a coach that could do it, I would believe in Grant. But I think I'm really worried about how they're going to guard Christian and like if he's going to be able to get it going. Because at this point, without Toppin, like you really need at least like 20 points from him, I feel like, to win this game. And I think that they're just going to throw the kitchen sink at him. And obviously, like Tech has other players. I think Watts has been playing really well. I think they'll keep it close, but I think it's going to be really hard to get it done, which is unfortunate because I feel like we are extremely bad matchup for Iowa State with Toppin. Like I would have been fairly confident in a road win had Toppin been healthy, but without him, I think it's going to be tough with their defense.
So give us your prediction then for the game.
Prediction already. I'll say Iowa State like 77, Tech 72.
Okay,
I think
so
it's close most of the game.
Okay, I think it's close.
Close one.
I could take that. Z, your thoughts on Saturday's game and your prediction?
Man, so Iowa State, they just do a lot of things really well. They're 5th in the conference in offensive rebounding percentage. They're really good in that regard. The thing that I think will help you don't foul a lot, but this is a horrible shooting free throw team. They're 15th in the conference in free throw percentage. They're good shooting the ball, though. It's weird. Like they're a great 2-point shooting team, a great 3-point shooting team, but they're terrible at shooting free throws for whatever reason. They get so many steals, and we have not seen a defense like the Houston defense of old when they would have like Jamal Shedd or Sasser or something, like somebody on ball that was such a menace. Iowa State has that, and you haven't really played a team that's going to be that aggressive on the ball. I mean, they force turnovers on 22% of people's possessions. So that to me is concerning. Like, I think Christian's a really good player. The one thing we would all probably say, like, his ball handling is not that crisp for as good of a player as he is. He's still an excellent ball handler, but he has tendencies to do a couple weird dribble turnovers, something off his foot, something where a guy gets a hand on it. And Clayton's exactly right. Like, they are going to blitz these ball screens. And what does he do when it's not JT Toppin rolling? Like, are we Lawan Rotz rolling and dishing out? So I don't know. You're going to have to shoot really well. And it's just going to be a really, really tough matchup. Your first road game without JT. I think JT is such a settling presence on the road because of how just consistent he was at getting baskets. You know, teams on a 6-0 run, feed JT, let's get a bucket, then let's go get a stop and work our way out of this. You don't really have that. Now, the thing I do like, I think Christian can get to the rim. I wish he would have been getting to the rim a lot more with JT. He did excellence against Cincinnati, and they've got great shot blockers. I don't know why they weren't helping off weak side and continuing to leave Day Thomas and Jizzle James to take him one-on-one. That didn't really work, but I don't know. I think on the road's going to be tough. Petty's had a hard time on the road. Watts has had a hard time on the road. I just don't think Christian has enough to get this done by himself. I'll take Iowa State like 80, Tech 64, something like that.
Hate to hear it.
Yeah. It's tough. That's a tough place to play, man. If they're not terrible, it is really, really hard to win there. The only time that I can remember us beating them there when they're good was in 2019. And other than that, I just really don't remember you beating them in Ames unless they're like, it was a Steve Prohm team that had no business being in the Big 12.
Yeah. Those were the good days. Conrad, your thoughts? You like Texas Tech pulling off an upset or no?
Yeah, you know, this is I don't know if I'd say hard times, but they're certainly not as good as they were when JT was obviously healthy. And again, hate that injury for him and for Texas Tech. But you may not have JT on the floor. Christian is on the floor. Donovan Atwell's on the floor. Jalen Petty's on the floor. Lawan Watts is on the floor. But you know who's on the sideline? The best coach in college basketball, Grant McCasland. And with Grant, all things are possible. And so I'm going to pick Texas Tech to go in there and win 81-77. I just know it's going to happen. And picking the Red Raiders to go into Ames, Iowa, and get the victory over the Iowa State Cyclones.
Brennan, this is funny. The last time you beat Iowa State in Ames, do you know how many games that team won that season?
The 2019 Iowa State team?
No, just the last time you beat Iowa State in Ames.
Was that the team that went 1-17 in conference?
It is. How many games do you think they won total?
7.
Oh, actually, no, they didn't win a single conference game. This team went 2-22. It was the 2021 COVID year. They beat Arkansas, Pine Bluff, and Jackson State, and that was it. Those are the only wins they had all year.
I forgot about
That's
that.
crazy.
Yep.
That's insane.
That is a miserable season. We have never had anything that bad. I mean, that is horrifying.
Even the Pat Knight days didn't get that bad.
No. Whew. I mean, that's terrible.
Gosh.
Yeah, they're a really hard team to beat in Hilton.
Yeah. I mean, I'll say this. I had a good amount of people text me that we were not going to win both games at home in Lubbock, like Kansas State and Cincinnati. It just felt like the year had been sucked out of your program. JT Toppin's gone. There's no hope. We're done for. We're not even going to beat two of the mediocre and worst teams in the conference. And you went and handled business. And I just think that might have caused Texas Tech and the team, and I hope it did, to relax a little bit. Like, take a deep breath. The season's still here. We can win without them, regardless of your opponent. And I think these guys are going to go play with a lot of confidence on Saturday. I think Iowa State slept walk a little bit through the Utah game. They have Arizona following your game, which is a huge game for them as well, too. And so there might be maybe a look ahead here. They don't take you as seriously without JT Toppin. And I'm going to say Texas Tech pulls off the upset, man. I think Tech's going to win 77-42, and they're just going to absolutely
42.
I'm just
That would be like the biggest loss in Hilton history.
I just wanted to make sure you guys are
35-point
listening. I just wanted to make sure you guys are paying attention to me. I think Texas Tech will win like 77-73, 74, come out with a gutsy win. Grant, to Conrad's point, shows why he's one of the best coaches in college basketball. And I think ultimately,
The best.
like this team will make a statement. And I think if Texas Tech's able to pull that off, you're in a tie for second in the conference now with Iowa State, Kansas, Houston, and who's the other team I'm missing?
You would be ahead of Iowa State at that point because I
Yeah.
think we're tied with
Oh,
them right
Kansas.
now.
You have Iowa State, Houston, and Kansas that you're tied with at 11-4. So if you're able to win this game and then go beat TCU, you would secure a top 4 bye in the Big 12 tournament. And that is a huge, huge opportunity for you. So even if you were to lose to BYU because of the head-to-head, you'd have that over Iowa State if you beat TCU. And I think Texas Tech finds a way to get that done, man. And that would be a huge opportunity for the Red Raiders. And the three line is still in play. I think the 3 line is still in play as the first 4, and a win over Iowa State helps you with that as well too. And so we'll see. We'll see if they can get it done. But I'm confident. I'm confident in Grant and company this weekend.
Yeah, when you talk about top 4 seed, you've got the lowest odds of any of the 5 teams remaining, kind of in the hunt of those top flight Big 12 contenders. A win here would change a lot. You lose this game and you drop to less than 50% chance to get a top 4 seed. So really important one. And I think what it would do for the committee, and I do. Okay, side note here, I want to shout out the college basketball committee, the March Madness selection committee. The show they did with the top 16 reveal was excellent. It was everything that the college football committee is not. It's data centered. They can answer questions. It makes sense. They give reasonable opinions. It's not just so incredibly stupid. And I know that's an incredibly low bar, but it was just so much better. And I didn't agree with everything, but their reasoning made sense. And it never made sense with the college football committee. And they lost a lot of trust in the way that they did that. Side note, you go get a win like this, that's a top 25 win that anybody will have on their resume, or top 25 win anywhere in the country. It shows the committee that we can win big games without JT. And that's the thing that they're going to be looking at and maybe discounting you for, is like, oh yeah, they beat Duke, they beat Arizona, they beat Houston. They did that with JT. What did they do without it? Did they win any big games? And so that's where I think this would be a huge win for you and kind of solidify, yeah, this is still a legit team. Don't knock us unnecessarily because of how we performed. I think even just a close game gives you a huge lift in the eyes of the committee. Like, yeah, this team's not dead. And I think that's really important for perspective. And they're going to be considering that stuff.
Do you think if you win this game, a 2 seed is possible?
I think you have too many losses to get to the 2 line, and your predictive metrics are not there. You know, you're playing like the 16th best team. Like, you're going to have to really overperform in the next 3 opportunities that you have to jump that high. I think a 3 is about as close as you can get. And you're on the back of the committee had you as the first 4 seed, so you can get there. It's just, you're going to need to win probably all of your games.
Yeah.
And then not lose a stupid one in the Big 12 tournament.
Yeah. I think it's there, man. BYU just got clapped against UCF at home. So like it's possible to beat BYU in Provo. We've seen it. UCF beats you as well too. That's a team that'll make the tournament. And so it's there for Texas Tech. I think with Christian, what Atwell's doing, and as you mentioned, Watt's playing better, there's an opportunity here for this team to still make a run. It's just going to look a little different. So we'll see how it goes.
I've been impressed, and just another basketball note, I've been impressed with Mosley. I very much see the vision of him as a player. He's still a little green kind of in the system, and he makes some defensive mistakes, but his rebounding is very good. And that has been a welcome surprise. And then Akuntak, I know he's raw too, but at least he's semi-serviceable. I've been impressed with his effort that he's given you. And then Luke rebounding. The guys have just stepped up, and I really that's been awesome to see. So shout out to those guys for being ready and getting out there. If you compared, so Josiah Mosley's rebounding rates per however many possessions, he's rebounding pretty much just like JT did. So 13.4% offensive rebound rate. JT was 13.8. Defensive rebound rate of 20.1. JT was 21.2. So rebounding really well in the minutes that he is getting. He's just not getting a ton of minutes yet.
Yeah.
He's also the best cutter on our team, I feel like, already.
Oh, yeah.
Well, we'll need him. We will definitely need him to make a run for sure. And I think Grant's seeing more confidence in him. He talked about him in his press conference. He's brought him up more. I think the vision, Z, is really coming together for Mosley, and that's huge for your team. And so we'll see what happens.
Yep.
Well, before we get to our rapid fire questions, I wanted to shout out our sponsor of today's episode, Lubbock Abstract and Title. Defense is all about protection, and that's exactly what Lubbock Abstract and Title does for property owners. They handle the details behind the scenes, protect ownership, and make sure everything's locked down from day one. Proud supporters of Texas Tech. And what they're sponsoring is our Defensive Player of the Month for Texas Tech basketball. Guys, you know where I'm going with this. Donovan Atwell, my favorite player on the team, locks down every team's best player day in and day out. And so Donovan Atwell is our Lubbock abstract and title defensive player in the month. This guy's the sharpest shooter in the country, one of the best defenders in the country. I love this guy, man. I hope I get to meet him one day. I want his autograph. Like, he's one of my favorite players of Tech all time. Where would you guys rank Donovan Atwell in some of your most recent favorite players? Conrad, you were high on this guy the moment we got him in the portal. Like, you were all about Donovan Atwell. He's got to be your number one.
Yeah, dude, he's number 2 for me behind Kevin Overton.
Yeah. KO.
That's a callback for the longtime listeners.
KO.
Yeah. Conrad loved Kevin Overton, man.
No, Donovan's great, man. I don't know. I mean, I'm not putting him above Christian, JT, Culver. I mean, I'm not putting Keenan. Like, I'm not putting him above them, but he could sneak into the top 5 maybe, but definitely 6 to 10 somewhere.
I think
in
you
there.
already listed 5 players.
Okay, well then 6 to 10. I mean, he can be in the top 10, but he's not passing those other guys.
He's the best shooter in your school's history, and I don't even think that's like up for debate.
Oh, it's not even a conversation.
Yeah, I'm all about shooters, man. So that's why he's number one for me.
Shooters got to shoot.
We didn't have a show this time, but do y'all remember, it was just like you would win with some of those beer teams, but it was like, my word, can we find somebody who shot a 3-pointer like at some point in their basketball career before they got to Tech? Because you would just like, it was like, oh, there's Kevin McCullough, 28% 3-point shooter. Hope it goes in. Maybe he'll get one this game. It was just like, and now you just get snipers every year. That's so much more fun to watch.
It's great. So well, there's so much more there's so many more guys that are capable of shooting threes now too. It's just like the modern era of basketball where all of these kids grew up shooting a bunch of threes, and we're seeing that in college too. But yeah, Atwell's just so pure, man. So much fun to watch. It's just like, I love watching him. I never get bored watching that guy play. All right. Well, let's get to our rapid fire question. Speaking of shooters shooting, Conrad, that applies in a lot of things too. So my first question I have for you guys, again, rules 5 seconds or less. You got to answer quickly. We'll move on. But the first question, Clayton, texting or calling?
Texting. I'm not a big talk on the phone guy.
I know. I hate that about you. Z?
Yeah, I'm a worse texter, so let's call. I'm terrible at responding to text messages.
Conrad?
Texting, because if I don't want to respond, I don't have to.
Goodness.
I like that. I'm a big caller, man. I love talking on the phone. I love hearing people's voices. I just love. It
depends
going
who the
on a
one
walk.
that's calling is.
Yeah. Okay. If I call you, answer.
Yeah.
Okay, that's good. That's all that matters.
Yeah,
that's all that matters.
All that matters.
It's a heated rivalry here on the Broadway Shuffle tonight. All right, question number 2: sweet or savory? Clay.
Depends on the mood, but I'll say sweet.
Savory. I'm gonna get killed by salt building up in my heart.
So, hey, you look good, man. For a lot of savory, you look good. Conrad,
I'm going with the savory. That queso we had at wherever we ate on Friday. Actually, I'm not going to give the name because I want them to sponsor, and we charged to mention you on the Broadway Shuffle now. But that queso was incredible.
What did you say? What did you say? Hooters. Hooters. Yeah.
It was not.
Did they close? Did the one close there off the loop?
It did.
That's what I thought. I noticed.
Zyler, stop giving free press, bro.
Yeah,
it was Bombshells. We were at Bombshells.
Right across the street from Hillside.
Yeah, we were not at Bombshells.
Yeah, great place to go. All right, so you're planning a hot date for your wife, your girlfriend, your boyfriend, whatever it is. Oh, I'm a sweet guy. I'm a big sweet guy. So, okay, let me get to my setup here. You're planning a hot date for your wife, girlfriend, boyfriend, whatever it is. Are you a planner or are you winging it? Are you just like going with the flow? Clayton.
I'm going with the flow. To my wife's dismay.
Yeah. Z.
We are winging it. It's a show up to the movies and see what's there. Kind of.
I like it. Conrad, you're a planner in all things. This should be.
There's nothing in my life that I don't like to plan. So plan for sure.
Planner. I agree. I'm a wing it guy. I'm a wing it guy in a lot of areas of my life, but when it comes to that, I'm definitely a wing it guy. All right, stay in or go out, Clay.
That's tough. I'll say go out. I like to see the world.
Get that out drive.
You're going all over. You're going all over the world, man. You're going all over the world. See?
Probably stay in, but I enjoy both. Depends.
Go out, baby.
BS. You're stay in, guy.
If I'm gonna choose what I'm gonna do, am I gonna go to a nice restaurant and have a good meal, or am I gonna stay home? I'm going to the good restaurant.
Oh, you're not
What's the
smoking
best restaurant in May?
Yeah.
If you're allowed to stay on air without sponsoring.
My house. That's free. That's free. That's free.
The meat
sponsorship.
pastor himself, man. He's
Yeah, the
smoking a
meat pastor.
brisket. It doesn't get better than Conrad's backyard.
Smoking a brisket. I actually do it in the front yard. Smoking a brisket on an electric Traeger on a pellet grill. The barbecue purists will come after me. But
yeah.
Yeah.
I like it. I'm a
Brendan,
go
you're
out.
go out.
I'm go out. Yeah. It's not even close. Find me a shit.
Anytime that I'm with Brennan, we go to a house so we can plan where we're going next. It's never like in there. It never ends.
Never stay at one place too long. There's always there's always another place too.
You're exactly right.
Yeah. All right. Last one I've got for you guys today, and then we'll wrap. What is one thing that instantly improves your day? Clayton.
I'll say I like coffee. I like having my morning coffee.
Good. I love morning coffee's good. See,
this is bad, but it really is. A Texas Tech sporting event win will like instantly make my day better.
That's
like
good.
it doesn't matter.
Yeah.
What?
Yeah.
Like if we win a sporting event, I'm like, oh, sick.
That's better. That's better than anything I could think of for sure.
All sports are just a couple of them.
Mainly the big two, but we get to the postseason runs for some of those other ones. Those are fun. I've watched some Tech soccer games. I've watched some of that stuff.
Yeah.
Just wanted to hold you accountable here on the Broadway Shuffle, and
Conrad?
clarify questions and stuff.
Brendan doesn't get to answer this question.
I'll say, I'll take it a little sweet. I'll make it an
ice
a
cream
hug
run.
with the fam, a hug with the fam. So, or
That's
a visit
cute.
to a great ice cream shop here in the area that I live, which will remain nameless because again, we do charge now. So
Clayton's already named it. Is there a Dairy Queen nearby? Like, what do you got?
brother, we're close to we got everything in the Brown County area.
Okay.
So we got everything. So
Okay, good. Man, I'll keep it. Honestly, this is probably accurate for me, but a round of golf improves my
That's a
day
great one.
significantly. If I can find time to hit golf balls, it's a great day. It's a great day. I need to do it more. I'm depressed like most of the days of my life, I guess, because I don't get to play every day. But I'm working. I'm working on it. I need it to be spring and summer. So, man, I'm loving.
Let me wait. Let me give you the best one. What's one small thing that it makes my day better? An episode of the Broadway Shuffle.
Oh my gosh!
Like and subscribe, baby.
Like and subscribe. But yeah, that's twice a week. That's a pretty good ratio there, I think, for the Broadway Shuffle.
Mm-hmm.
I know people that don't listen that often or don't listen to things twice a week or twice a week right there in the middle of the road. So I think it could be great. Yeah. Every Monday and Thursday. Good schedule to have. So all right. Well, we will be back on Monday, guys, to react to the Iowa State game. Can't wait to see Texas Tech knock off Iowa State this Saturday. As Conrad alluded to, if you have it, just double check, hit the alert button. It's 100% free, doesn't cost you anything, doesn't sign you up for anything. It just helps us continue to reach more Red Raiders. So make sure you subscribe on YouTube, follow on Spotify or Apple, and we will see you guys every Monday and Thursday here on the Broadway Shuffle. Wreck 'em, and everyone have a great weekend.
Thanks, Brennan.
He makes the catch. He's got